Do you think you have what it takes to survive? How far would you go for freedom? And what's the difference between being alive and actually living? 30 strangers in a sprawling, hostile wilderness, surrounded by mountain walls too high to climb and forests too dense to escape. Many had come from war-torn countries, refugees with nothing left to lose. Others were political prisoners, sentenced to death without trial, and there were also those who'd been convicted for crimes against the state. Their punishment to be decided by the whims of the train. No communication, no map, only one message carved into the rock near the center. Survive, adapt, ascend. The mind breaks before the body. A giant of a man with a surprisingly gentle heart, haunted by a past that had hardened him like steel. Then there was Leela, cunning and quick-witted, adept at foraging and healing. And lastly, Silas, a former soldier whose combat training made him the group's de facto leader. Together, they confronted the Trillans, battling not just the environment but their own inner demons. The 60th day dawned. They were greeted not by the welcoming arms of the outside world. This was merely the beginning of their true punishment. When they thought they had won, these individuals, once driven by ambition and power, now derived pleasure from the suffering of others. Each prisoner retreated further into themselves, becoming shells of their former selves. The Trillans had claimed them, twisting their minds until they were beyond recognition. It was a haunting spectacle, a testament to the lengths to which human cruelty could reach. In the sterile white rooms, they watched and analyzed with detached amusement as their prisoners grappled with the horrors of their past. It was as if they took sadistic pleasure in the unraveling of human spirits. But their story, though fragmented and harrowing, began to piece together. The Trillans was exposed, its secrets laid bare for the world to see. But justice, as it often does, was a slow and imperfect process, where the scars of the Trillans ran deep, etching themselves onto their souls. But life, tenacious and enduring, found a way to persist. Some survivors found solace in shared stories, their pain binding them together. Others sought refuge in anonymity, hoping to rebuild their lives away from the shadows of the past, thrust a reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the unyielding strength of the human spirit. The Trillans might have been a game to some, but to others, it was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. In the face of unfathomable adversity, they didn't just survive, they thrived. There were whispers in the night, murmurs of rebellion, of a plan to defy the very fabric of their prison. Whispers of rebellion turned into shouts of defiance. It was a symphony of rage and despair, a chorus of anguish echoing through the cold metallic halls. But freedom came at a terrible cost. Not all made it out alive. Those who stumbled out of the facility, blinking in the harsh light of freedom, forever marked by the horrors they had endured. The Trillans had broken them, but it had also forged them. They emerged with a shared purpose, a vow to expose the atrocities committed within the facility's cold walls. Some were recaptured, dragged back into the abyss from which there was no return. Others paid the ultimate price, their lives snuffed out like candles in the wind. The prisoners, driven to the edge by years of torment, orchestrated a daring escape. It was a faint flicker of defiance in the overwhelming darkness, into a chilling new game orchestrated by the very forces that had imprisoned them in the tree. The irony was not lost on them. They had traded one prison for another, one set of chains for another. The Trillans had been merely the first stage in a grander scheme, a scheme that delved deeper into the recesses of human psychology than any of them had ever imagined. But by armed soldiers, they caught glimpses of other survivors, oppressive environment. They were forced to confront the darkest aspects of themselves, their deepest fears and buried traumas brought to the surface by the insidious design of their captors. They became pawns in a game of cat and mouse, manipulated and observed by unseen eyes. The Trillans had been just the beginning. Now they were plunged into the depths of a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape, their faces etched with trauma, their eyes devoid of hope. It was then that the chilling truth of their fate fully dawned on them. They were not meant to be freed. They were meant to become subjects of a sinister experiment, their wills to be broken, their minds to be studied, their very essence to be manipulated. They were not free, merely transferred to a new phase of their ordeal. For the Trilance, it seemed, had another sinister twist in store. As they were marched away, they saw the Traylans recede in the distance, its silent mountains echoing with their screams. They had survived the physical challenge, leaving behind the desolate landscape that had been both their prison and their crucible. As they soared above the Trillans, a sense of euphoria washed over them. They had survived the ultimate test of endurance. Its terrain bore witness to countless trials, each one meticulously recorded in its stony silence. Their provisions were running low, forcing them to confront the harsh reality of their situation. In this game of cat and mouse, they seemed to be winning. However, they were unaware of the chilling truth hidden beneath the surface. The Trilance was designed not just to break their bodies, but more importantly, their minds. Each new day brought fresh challenges, testing their resilience and resolve. From sudden storms to lurking predators, the landscape itself seemed to conspire against them. But through it all, their spirits remained unbroken.